Good evening, everyone, and hola to Professor Mesake. This is Toma Group number 1, and the group members are Katarina Foliaki, Maria Fawila, I, Analani, and Arnau Pala. We will present on a critical analysis of a published journal article. This is the title of our journal article, titled Teachers' Narrative During COVID-19 Partial School Reopenings and Exploratory Study. It was written by Lisa E. Kim, Rowena Leary, and Catherine Asbury. The article is from the Educational Research, Volume 63, 2021, Issue 2, and it was published online on 6th of May, 2021. This is how are we going to present today. Catalina Foliaki will start us off with the article summary, and I will follow with the critical examination of the literature, and Melelfa will be followed with the critical examination of the methodology and bibliography, and Anna will conclude our presentation. Katarina.
Thank you, Anna. I will present the article summary highlighting the main points and also provide critical comments on it. This article discussed a study conducted in England to explore teachers' experiences before the partial reopening of schools during COVID-19 lockdown. The study aimed to better understand teachers' experiences, to shed light on their needs during the pandemic and also the future instructions. The study uses the self-determination theory framework by Desi and Ryan to explore the challenges to teachers' psychological needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness. According to this theory, these are the 3 basic psychological needs of human beings in order to function at their best and also for their well-being. Data collection stands for qualitative methodology. Reflexive semantic analysis is used for data analysis, and 6 fields were identified. As a conclusion, this study highlights the need and importance of supporting teachers to feel autonomous, competent, and connected during times of crisis. The major limitation of the study is that it's done on small scale, and therefore this cannot draw any generalized conclusions. To comment, overall this article is well constructed. It used appropriate headings such as introduction, purpose, methodology, and so on to provide a quick overview of what is discussed in each section. There is a good and clear coverage of each section and also a logic flow of information from section to section. Still part of the summary, topic and main concepts. We think this topic is very current and important as the effects of COVID-19 is still experienced around the world. It is also relevant to our situation because we are involved in the teaching profession and recently experienced lockdown in our home country. The title of this article is good. It uses words such as exploratory, which indicates the nature of the study. That is, it's an exploration, and narratives, which can also be an indication of the type of methodology to be used for the study. However, the title could have been more specific. For example, the name of the country, England, where the study took place would be included. The main concepts used in this article were identified in the summary given. These concepts include autonomy, competence, uncertainty, and teacher identity. And these concepts were clearly defined in the article. Coverage of content, as mentioned before, there is a clear, consistent, and thorough coverage to address the purpose, aim, and research question of the study. The purpose and aim is to understand, is easy to understand, and also it's easy to identify in the article. Research question is very specific, clear, and also aligned appropriately to the topic and purpose of the study. Just one point to note, although this study focuses only on how teachers' psychological needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness were challenged during times of crisis like COVID-19, we think that these findings can also be a big teachers again at the time as they strive to deliver learning to their students on a daily basis.
Moving on to the critical examination of the literature, there were findings from the study, and the main points of this article focuses on the themes identified from these research findings, and they are uncertainty, practical concerns, worry for pupils, importance of relationship, teacher's identity, and reflections. These themes highlighted the challenges faced by teachers as they cope with school closure and reopening, such as lack of governmental direction due to communication gap between school and government, dealing and relating to their student, and staying connected to students and colleagues. These themes illustrated the frustration of basic psychological needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness. With the long-term educational effects of pandemic, academic support should be given to all pupils, like accessing to technology at home, and ensures that academic gap is closed and that pupils' welfare and well-being are met. These are the 6 themes. In theme 1 shows that uncertainty seems to be a common experience of the participants, as many describe low levels of autonomy and competence in their stories. In theme 2, practical concern, this illustrates of how teachers have accepted the challenge, the change in circumstances, and were able to focus on how to implement necessary changes to teaching, learning, and school environment. In theme 3, worry for pupils, teachers worry over pupils' loss of learning. In theme 4, importance of relationship, the study also reveals that relationship and teachers' concern for pupils were strongly evident in their stories. For teachers, interacting with pupils features strongly in the high point scenes, attesting to how teachers draw meaning and satisfaction from this relationship. In theme 5, teachers' identity, studies imply that a strong preference for routine and structure could represent a core element of teacher identity. And lastly, theme 6, reflections, gave insights about what they felt to be important in their personal and professional lives, including an enhanced understanding that work-life boundaries should be in place. Our contribution to the literature, what's missing? There wasn't any actual literature review. With no literature review provided, it is not possible to see how this study fits into the existing framework of research, or how it fills a gap in literature. A clear definition of specific research or educational terminology was missing. Words like longitudinal study, theory, inductive and deductive approach, COVID-19, and well-being. A definition will be very crucial for readers and others to fully comprehend and interpret the article without any misconception or confusion. Assumption, the study was a longitudinal study which will be on for a long time, no specific time frame to finish the study. Biases, the sampling was not a fair representative of the total teachers population of England, very inadequate, should have a larger representative sample of teachers to be more reliable as suggested for future researchers. The teachers participants were only from the schools owned by the states. How about the other school not owned by the states? It didn't cover the university level as well. And from the critical examinations of the methodology, the self-determination theory was used to frame the research methodology. Both interviews and book sources are adequate to collect a variety and reliable information for the study. Interview, we assume, may not capture the unspoken and body language and even emotions expressed by participants. And from the ethical consideration, approval was granted for researchers and consent letters were signed by participants. From the research sampling and technique, very inadequate samplings, not representable as Anna has shared of the population. More will be better and more reliable. Unequal number of males, but there were 6 and females were 18 participants. Also, the research instrument, life story interview was they asked the participant to share their experiences of COVID-19 as a teacher in England. This addresses the research question perfectly and accurately. Participants were able to openly express themselves freely in this type of question. Also, the Zoom face-to-face interview prohibited data to be collected at the participant setting. Audio recording allows data to be checked and corrected for accuracy and correctness. And for data analysis, data was analyzed carefully and appropriately with this tool to form the themes and the findings successfully. It was semantic and essentialist, focused on what the participant expressed. From my recommendation, should have used MEPA checking to verify the data collected from the participants. And comment on the bibliography, there were unique and provided permanent links to published articles in journals and thus increased their acceptance in authorized and citable material. And all in-text citations were included in the bibliography, and some of the things mentioned by the presenters before. On the author's background, it was also mentioned by Anna, Dr. Lisa E. Kim, but they are experts in the field of study, had done lots of research before with similar topics, and with their expertise, professional experiences, and interests had qualified them to carry out this study. One is a doctor and one is a professor and had a PhD student. All work and teach in the University of York. They are all very reliable and well-established academic researchers and educators, and their contribution in this research study is very significant to the readers and the field of study, future researchers. Anna, thank you.
The conclusion is very logical. It's because it can be applied throughout the world, since every teacher is facing the same challenges. And also the conclusion ties well to the original position, because it states in the introduction and the research question about the need of teachers to feel autonomous, competent, and connected with colleagues, people, and their families in ways that will be beneficial to their well-being and their commitment to the profession. Does this study achieve its purpose and aim? Does this study achieve its purpose and aim? Yes, it did. Does this study address the research question? Yes, it did. 6 themes were identified.
All right, it's time for your question, my friends. Have any question?
Sure, we have a question. So, our question according to the teams that we sell in Malagi. What is one of the team that you teachers can relate to, like especially during this time of pandemic?
Right. I think one of the themes is the importance of relationship during this pandemic is very hard. So I think it's very important for us teachers to connect with the students and their parents so that we can work together to make learning take place from home and from around the world. Any more questions? Okay, I think that's just the conclusion of our presentation. Thank you, and thank you for your participation. Malo apito to afando.